all heard the word plagiarism before, especially when assigned a paper by a professor. But what is plagiarism? Plagiarism is when you use words, thoughts, or ideas that belong to someone else without giving them credit. The credit part is important because almost all articles in nonfiction books do use information that came before them, but they also gave credit to those other sources. According to Niagara University's academic integrity policy, plagiarism is a major form of academic dishonesty involving the presentation of the work of another as one's own. For example, consider plagiarism if you use or copy any portion of someone else's work, including journal articles and books, without acknowledging the author, copy and paste any material from any internet website without acknowledging the source, turn in someone else's paper as your own, turn in your own paper that was previously written for another class, or buy a paper online. Plagiarism is a matter of degree, and writers don't often realize they are doing it. This can result in what we call unintentional plagiarism. Some students truly don't know that they're doing something wrong when they paraphrase information without citing the information source. They might feel that paraphrasing the words of someone who is clearly an expert on the topic is the best way to write an accurate paper. And because they aren't quoting it directly, it doesn't need quotation marks or attribution, does it? Unfortunately, this is not the case. Even if you don't use the exact wording of someone else, you still need to credit them for the idea or information. So unintentional plagiarism is still plagiarism. While the penalties they receive might, and this is a big might, be less severe than someone who buys a paper online or copies and pastes a big section of material into their work, the penalties could still be substantial. Some of the most common forms of plagiarism are cutting and pasting internet material, including information supplied by an AI engine, paraphrasing information incorrectly, and failing to cite sources. When it comes to AI, or artificial intelligence, in academia, the ethics of plagiarism become muddled. As we've covered, plagiarism is when you steal someone else's work without giving them credit and passing it off as your own. But does that mean that research conducted by credible experts must be their own original research and not cite other similar information? AI can be used as a helpful tool, but isn't something that should be relied on. Passing off work that's been AI generated as your own may be looked at as theft and dishonesty and can have disastrous consequences for your academic career. If you're unsure about how to use and cite AI in your assignments and classes, ask your instructor for further assistance and check your syllabus. Citing a source means that in your paper, you provide information on the author and publication in which the information originally appeared. You've probably heard about the different citation formats such as APA and MLA, and this is where they would be used. A citation usually includes two parts. One is the in-text citation, where you give a brief piece of information about the source in parentheses. The second part is a list at the end of your paper, either called references or works cited. This is where you give a full citation that includes the author, title of work, etc. So, what should you cite? If you copy an exact sentence or paragraph from a book, article, website, blog posting, or anywhere online or in print, you must cite your source. If you use some form of exact phrases in a sentence or paragraph, even if you are not copying the whole sentence or paragraph, you must cite your source. If you do not use the exact sentence or phrase but paraphrase it or use ideas inherent in the exact sentence or phrase, you must, you guessed it, cite your source. To avoid committing plagiarism, even unintentionally, make sure you do this in each paper you write. Acknowledge each source that your ideas came from, and then either enclose the words taken directly from each source in quotation marks, or paraphrase the material into your own words. Whether you take information from just one person or many people, what makes a difference is whether or not you acknowledge them and whether or not you use quotations or paraphrasing as appropriate. So, do you have to cite every single thing you write? No. Citations are not required for information that is considered common knowledge. The Scott Forsman Handbook of Writers defines common knowledge as facts, dates, events, information, and concepts that belong generally to an educated public. No individual owns the facts about history, physics, social behavior, geography, current events, popular culture, and so on. Examples of common knowledge include the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, the 13 colonies formed the United States of America, and the capital of Wisconsin is Madison. You also don't have to cite your own thoughts and opinions. Here are some more tips that can make things easier. As you search across Google, the library website, and other resources, save materials you plan to use. That way, you'll always know where a certain piece of information came from. You can either print them out or save them electronically. NU Library provides students with a free subscription to Noodle Tools, a citation management program that works great for this. Properly use direct quotes. If all of the words you use are identical to the source, it is a direct quote. For a direct quote, you need to know where the quote begins and ends. Integrating a quotation in your text usually involves two elements: a signal that the quotation is coming, generally the author's name or a reference to the work, and an assertion that indicates the relationship of the quotation to your text. Often, both the signal and the assertion appear in a single introductory statement, as in this example. In their study of how expectations can affect the perceptions of music formats, Enstrom and Schmaltz, that's the signal, were able to confirm that the quality of sound, whether MP3 or vinyl record, varied from subject to subject. That's the assertion. The final results showed that, that's the connection, if a person believes that vinyl sounds better, the listening experience will be better, regardless of sound quality. That's the quote. Paraphrase effectively. Many students struggle with paraphrasing. The steps to paraphrase effectively are: read your research material in small chunks, write down keywords or words specific to your research, look away from the source, and think about what you want to say. Another tip: ask for help. Your professor and librarians will be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. At the end of this video, we'll provide a list of all the ways to contact your NU librarians. You can also ask a tutor from the Writing Center, which is located in the Academic Success Center in Seton Hall on the first floor. You can make an appointment with them online through your MyNU. And lastly, don't procrastinate. It's so easy to do, but try to plan ahead. Don't wait until the last minute, as this will lead to sloppy work. Be sure to stay organized. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Remember, we're here to help, and there are no stupid questions.